A peer support counselor who fought through a decade-long addiction to heroin and cocaine is now giving back in a way that her team members at the Milwaukee Fire Department get to appreciate daily. Michelle Fiore puts the Milwaukee Overdose Response Initiative in our Sunday morning spotlight.
Captain David Polichowski and peer support specialist Amy Molinsky are heading out on a routine follow-up.
What are you seeing with the drug problem in Milwaukee County?
Well, unfortunately, it's not getting any better.
The city of Milwaukee lost 630 people in 2022 to opioids. That's 3 times the number of homicides last year.
Are you seeing a lot of fentanyl?
Yes, extreme amount of fentanyl. Most people, I think they're buying drugs from the streets. They think that those are, heroin. They're buying heroin or cocaine or crack. It's really not. There's not much, heroin on the streets anymore. It's almost all fentanyl.
Polichowski and Molinsky are part of the Milwaukee Fire Department's MORI program, Milwaukee Overdose Response Initiative. It started in 2019.
Which at that time was just a single car with 2 MFD members and a peer support for 4 hours a day, 4 days a week, to now 2 cars with 3 members each, 2 members and a peer support 7 hours a day, 5 days a week.
We're not just helping an individual who experienced an overdose. We're helping their families, we're helping their loved ones, we're helping the community.
Molinsky's in the back seat as the MORI team travels to see 7 to 10 people who overdosed the day before. But often when they arrive, she's the one driving the conversation, and there's a reason for that.
I can give them my dad talk all day long, but they are really the ones who end up having that bond with a person.
I'm a person in recovery. I was a cocaine and heroin addict for about 10 years before I stopped using.
Certainly not easy to talk about, but Molinsky's accepted it's her story, and she's now sharing it to try to help others with an opioid use disorder in Milwaukee County.
I was an awkward teenager who didn't fit in. I was an IV user, injecting 2 grams of heroin a day for a long time. I went to treatment 16 times. I was in and out of jail. It was difficult. I had a lot of baggage. I had a lot of shame. I had a lot of guilt.
This is Molinsky 5 months after her first treatment attempt didn't stick. And later,
in 2006, I went to jail for 10 felonies and 9 misdemeanors. I didn't stay sober after that. I used more, went back to jail again, so I couldn't get help. At least I felt like I couldn't get help, and I had accepted the fact that I was going to die.
I was introduced to opiates when I was 22 years old.
Those same cycles and those same messages are the words Molinsky now hears from those she and her peers at MORI are trying to help. Christopher's among the many.
I started using heroin at the age of 14, and I carried that addiction everywhere I went for a long time. I wanted to keep the habit so bad, but I didn't know how to kick it.
We let them know that we are just here to follow up with them. We're not there to get them in any trouble. Sometimes people don't want to talk about it, or they deny it.
At the end of the call, community paramedics with the MORI program will leave a hope kit.
Inside, we have 2 doses of Narcan, 2 fentanyl testing strips.
In addition, it's a CPR face shield, a 211 impact card listing resources, and a never use alone card. In 2021, the Milwaukee Fire Department administered over 2,200 doses of Narcan.
You force someone into treatment, it's never going to work. So we try to offer them as much services as they're willing to take. And if that means immediate transport, we can have them transported to a facility immediately.
Someone reaching out to me and wanting to help me, I never had that, So that was a new type of experience for me. And one day it came and said, you got some visitors here. And it was the MORI team came to visit me in rehab, in recovery. That made me feel so good, man.
Molinsky can relate. She had the support of family, and in January of 2010, she became pregnant and reached out to her parents.
I was ready. I was willing, I should say. I don't know if I knew I was ready, but I was willing to try one more time. They dropped everything and drove 2 hours to come help. They were waiting. They were ready. They just needed me to get on board.
For 3 years now, members of the Maury team say they're measuring success not by the number of people they helped get to therapy, but simply it's a success if that person is still alive.
I used to get frustrated early on in my career, especially as a paramedic and transporting some of the same people. And I would be frustrated and say, look, every time I see you, you look worse. How come you can't see what's going on? And have to realize that it's out of their control. It really is. And just offering them some empathy and realizing that our main goal is to keep them alive and get them to a point in their life where they want to seek some form of treatment.
Molinsky got there. She credits her baby girl for being just what she needed.
And that was in January of 2010, and here I am, right? I mean, my daughter saved my life. There's zero doubt about that.
Have you had that conversation with her yet?
Oh, 100 times, yes. I'm not ashamed of where I've been. I wish I wouldn't have hurt people, but it's my story, and I'm okay with it.
What is it, 13 years since you've used?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about yourself today?
I feel proud of myself today, and that didn't come in the first few years probably, but you got me. I'm really proud of who I am today. I'm proud of who I have become, and I honestly didn't think I would ever be able to say that.